Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to FPL Don't Panic. Crikey. This is potentially going to be a very long and rambly one. I've got a very busy screen there. There's a reason for that. We're going to play a little game of catchphrase for this episode. And what I want you to do is, I don't know, do you remember catchphrase? I don't know, I'm sure plenty have seen the program. I don't know if it still goes. I used to go in the 80s and 90s, I think, maybe later than that. I've been in New Zealand for a long time now. Catchphrase, where the squares used to disappear on the screen, and then they had to buzz in when they could get the catchphrase as the different pictures disappeared, and it became clear what the image represented as a catchphrase. So as soon as you get the catchphrase, I don't want you to type anything else. I want you to just type the catchphrase, nothing else, in the comments. It'll all make sense eventually, I promise you. I don't even know where to start here. Crikey. I have start at the beginning. Where is the beginning? I don't know. It's been a mental 2 weeks. It's been a mental 2 weeks. I mean, if you actually followed my videos for the last couple of weeks as we entered into this 2 weeks of these double game weeks that I was coming into with without any chips. It's like, how am I going to get through this? What were the videos? It was started with double trouble. I was trying to work everything out, and then there was various other ones as it was progressing. Then it was the hope that kills it, so it looked like I might get away with it. And the last one, yeah, of course, the last one. Is there anything as it was looking? Oh my God, we're into the last game. Is there anything to be said for another mess? I don't know what I'm going to call this one yet. If it had gone badly, which it looked like it might have been at one point, I was going to do a Scooby-Doo thing. And I was actually already writing getting the image of a Scooby-Doo villain that looked a little bit like me, and with the phrase, "I'd have gotten away with it if it hadn't been for those meddling mids," because it was a couple of midfielders that would have scuppered me, namely Trossard, and it looked like Saka for a bit. That's a good place to start. Hero of the week, actually. I bagged this guy a lot. I had him earlier in the season, and I bagged him. And then he came good for a bit. Then I got rid of him because I was just fed up with him, and I brought in someone else. And then I brought him back, and he had a few good moments. And then I bagged him again. And I was bagging him last in the game week, the 32 double, with all the goals they conceded. But hero of the week, and there are a few. Remove the first photo. This fella, Dean Henderson. Now, I know I only scored 10 points, but he was actually the top scoring goalkeeper in Fantasy Premier League this week, with just the 10 points. But he was worth a lot more than 10 points. That save after Saka had come on, I reckon, was probably worth about 7 points to me, and probably where am I? About 15 points, I think, inside the top. Yeah, it was worth. I reckon it was worth about 15,000 places. Dean Henderson, thank you very, very much. Right, picture one gone. This might be a little messy. Try and get rid of these one at a time. Can't work. I'll take the wrong one away. That's good. Dean Henderson, thank you. Okay, next one. There were players who could have hurt me when I was doing my various transfers. I mean, I only had, in the second phase particularly, I only had the 5 doublers. And as I surveyed the scene this morning, even though I'd somehow was managing to hang on in there in the top 50k, because I was just inside the top 50k this morning. Remember, I'd have been happy to have been inside the top 200k at the end of this game week. These guys could have done me some serious damage. Particularly my own captain, obviously, Marmouche didn't return anything, but neither did anyone else who could really hurt me. Saka with that 101% effective ownership, anything from him would have absolutely ruined me. So it was a mighty relief when I saw him on the bench, and then he was coming off the bench, and I thought, doomed. And he didn't really get involved, but when he did get involved, he got very involved. And I say the same from Henderson, but also the likes of Rodgers. Just really getting an assist across the 2 games. Raya, yeah, had one clean sheet, but those two can again. That was amazing help today. Obviously, the two goals. Saar, yeah, I think he got one return in the game week 32, and Saliba losing the clean sheet. I mean, losing. I mean, I had no Arsenal players whatsoever, none, and I thought they're going to get me eventually. I thought they were going to get me this morning. They did not, but that lot there, particularly the Arsenal boys, would have done me some serious, serious, serious damage. But they didn't. Right, another square gone. Will make sense, promise you. As soon as you get the catchphrase, type it in the comments. Right, the guys that really, really did it for me, and there were a few. I'd had a number of heroes. Okay, little story about Harvey Barnes actually. Really, really did get lucky with him. Okay, so he was a massive influence, not just in this game week, even just his 5 points was big. Obviously, in the game week 32, I made a massive mistake bringing Foden in a few weeks ago. This is where my luck was. I mean, it's been absolutely ludicrous this week. I mean, a few weeks back when it was Clivert, wasn't it? Had the injury, and I was lying in bed, and I got the notification on phone, listening to one of the content providers, and I did this like really rash bringing in Foden. It's actually worked out so well, because if I hadn't done that, because then I just had was benching Foden and whatever, and if, as I say, it's actually, I think, goes back to the double trouble journey where I was talking, what am I going to do with Foden? What I actually did, it made me think about things, and it was Harvey Barnes that came in for him. It was a transfer out for Harvey Barnes. I'm not sure that would have happened if I hadn't made the Foden mistake in the first place. Does that make sense? And Barnes, I mean, in that first double, yeah, I mean, it was obviously Barnes and Murphy and something from me like that. But I mean, I was going into that last game with about 13 or 14 points. And yeah, and again, got a return out of him again. I really, really hope that he keeps his minutes. Because I know we've got the Gordon threat coming in now, but he stays in the team for now, certainly. Anyway, and then of course you've got the likes of Kanate. Huge game week this week. Bowen with the return from Bomo with 18 points. And as I said, yeah, Henderson with the 10-pointer. Just everyone that could really actually have a massive rank influence for me came in. Every single one of them. Madness. So, where does that sort of leave me in the grand scheme of things? Well, we are finally really nicely entrenched in that top 100k. Can we stay there? I mean, you could argue I should be actually aiming higher now. I think the first thing I want to do is get myself entrenched there. I've been, as I say, had a ridiculous run of luck the last 2, maybe even 3 game weeks when I look back on it. So yeah, 67,000. I think that's right. I could be wrong actually. I think 57. Give me a second. Give me a second. Yeah. Did I typo that? No, that's it's even better. It's yeah, sorry, I'm in 57,000th place. Like as I said, I finished in 200,000 and in touch with the top 100k by at this point. Honestly, I would have been happy. So yeah, 2,239 points with an average of 67.84, and so I'm now ahead of obviously the top 100k average, which is now 67.18, which isn't a huge amount in terms of averages, and not a massive amount in terms of points. So yeah, 20, 22, 23 points. Absolutely take that. As I say, I would have shagged your nan for that at the beginning of 2 weeks ago to be at this point, to be at this stage. Number one, I don't really think I'm going to catch number one, but I do like to keep an eye on it and see where those averages are going. 2470, 74.84. You know, so that's actually come down a wee bit. And I did actually have a look because this is so the chips aren't quite down yet. I've still got the free hitters to come, so I've still got my next battle ahead. But I looked through the top sort of top 10 sort of scores that they pulled in, and they were fairly similar to mine. Some a little bit more, some quite a bit less. But almost every one of them had used, you know, the free hit, a wild card, or were on the AM. So I've seen off another bunch of chippers, and as I say, the chips will finally, hopefully, be down for the most part. There'll still be a few floating around, obviously, with the free hitters coming in for game week 34. But this, I absolutely take, and just have to see now how we go for the for blank 34, because I'm certainly not optimized. I don't mind the look of my team. I don't mind the look of it. All right, getting there. All right. The actual team. So just to sort of last look at it, last look at these boys that did me proud. Last little bow from them. Yeah, Henderson, fantastic, top scoring keeper for the week. You wouldn't have thought that. Wouldn't have thought that after the first game, but oh no, she would. Yeah, he got his points in the first game, but you wouldn't have thought. Yeah, 10 points. I'm waffling. 10 points. It was obviously game week 32, which was a bit disastrous, to be frank. And then again, in fairness, I did say I think pride's going to kick in for Palace, and they're just going to dig in, and absolute fair play to them. Yeah, Munoz, oh, so close, wasn't he, this morning? I mean, um, he was a shade away from getting on the end of Mateta Cross, I think it was. Whoa, that would have been mega. I know highly owned, but I would have added 6, 7, yeah, another 12, 13 points, I guess, between the two of them. But yeah, and listen, when I was just going nowhere, I was thinking, you know, is he one that I need to move out at some point? You know what? He is such a threat. He's such a threat. I hope when they get this FA Cup shite out of the way, you know, we'll start to see him getting on a few again in Palace, getting back to keeping a few clean sheets. Yeah, I thought he looked really good at times today. Gvardiol, yeah, you know, great. Shame he didn't get anything. I really would love to see him back on that left wing. Hopefully this lad that's coming back from injury now, we might get a few runs there from him. Kanate, an absolute hero. Bo, an absolute hero. And Bemo, an absolute hero. Salah, nothing fantastic because it had a lot of... I wouldn't have that many captains on him, actually. You know, his points would have been nice to have seen. Barnes, just the assist, but he's just so consistent. You know, he's getting a return every match, and some of them are just big hauls. And I really hope he starts against Ipswich. So tempting to put that captain's armband on him. Going by the spreadsheet, I should be captaining Harvey Barnes. His averages are the best. He is the most consistent. He's got a home fixture against Ipswich, but supposing he doesn't start, he only comes on for 30. That's the sort of thing. That's how some people win this bloody competition. They take those punts and suddenly get these bloody hauls that no one else is getting. I don't think I'm brave enough to do it yet. It's tempting. It's tempting. Mateta. He's on the chopping block. I think I have to transfer him out, but I don't want to. He looked back to that 15, 20-minute cameo. He looked like the Mateta we know and love. And there was just this part of me thinking, just play with 9 or 10 days. Hang on to him. But if I did move him out, I can always bring him back in. I've got an eye that he's got this double as well. I mean, do I actually transfer out one of my defenders? We'll have a chat about that in a second. And just play with a 4-4-2 and keep Mateta. I don't know. Isaac. He's proving very disappointing at the moment. Very disappointing indeed. But certainly not going nowhere with obviously with the Ipswich at home fixture. But I nearly move him out instead of Mateta at the moment. Maybe better fixtures for Mateta as well. And Marmouche, yeah, a little underwhelming the last 2 game weeks, but I was expecting a lot more. And so many had the captain's armband on him. However, it wasn't to be, and I'm just being churlish. You guys, if you followed this journey the last few game weeks, it's just been insane how stuff has come together for me, and the players that I didn't want to return that would have damaged me haven't. The ones I needed to in my team, literally each and every one of them came in. Nuts, absolutely nuts. Right, another block removed. There we go. Anyone getting close? Got to be starting to get an idea now. Right, how do we look? Oh, one or two of you must be starting to type now into the comments. Here's how. I have made the one transfer. Just put this on the brick screen for me so I can see it clearly. Right, I'm going to talk about Jose Sa in a minute. I brought in Aït-Nouri. So this is not an optimized team, but could this prove to be a differential team going out because I haven't got the free hit? Possibly, possibly. I'll be quite happy if I can just hold my ground, and I accept I may get a bit of a red. I just hope it's not too big a red. Aït-Nouri, I did go for him in the end. It actually does, and we'll see in the spreadsheet, it really brought my averages up. He's obviously got some great fixtures from now till the end of the season. He fits in perfectly. And the thing is, I decided on him above Kirkez and a few others, because Aït-Nouri, quite simply, is going to be the most bought in player. That's why I did the transfer. His price is going up again. He will be the most brought in defender for this free hit week. Really tempted by Sessegnon. If I was to transfer out a defender, a Gavardio, to bring into play with four defenders, maybe Gavardio would go out and I'd bring in Sessegnon or someone like that. But Sessegnon's short-term gain, and he could become a problem down the line with Wilson coming back. So I can't go there. I can't go there. I think you should go there, though. I think you guys should go there. I think, yeah, it could be a good deal. He's not going to be that highly owned. He's going to get at least 60. He might get the full 90. Milenkovic, Brentford home, yeah, not too bad. I'm hoping, obviously, that Mbemo, hauls, but Milenkovic against the leaky Brentford defence, yeah, could go well. Kanate, Tottenham home, yeah, happy enough with that. Bowen, Brighton away. If West Ham score, Bowen will be involved. Similarly, and Mbemo, I'll talk in a minute about the potential transfer, which I'm probably giving away that I think it might be Wizza. So Mbemo scores, Wizza's involved. If Wizza scores, Mbemo's involved. Maybe not the ideal fixture for a free hit, but they have such value going forward after the free hit week. Hopefully they'll bring in something for me. But going forward, every man and his uncle is going to want Mbemo or Wizza or both. Salah, Tottenham home, yeah, putting the captain's armband on him. I'm a Man United supporter. It'll kill me, but I will hope to be going around to my friend's house, who is a Liverpool supporter, to watch them win the Premiership against Spurs on Monday morning here in New Zealand. So I want something to shout about. So I'm cheering along as well. So captain's armband goes on Salah. There's a temptation to take that punt and put it on Barnes. There really is. Yeah, Barnes, Murphy, Isak, home to Ipswich. There is some minutes risk there. I get it. There's nothing I can do about it this game week. We'll look at that going forward, and maybe I'll get an idea of who's the most likely to get rotated there. Yeah, don't know at this stage. Barnes, you think he's almost undroppable with the form that he's in, but he is probably on the wrong wing. It probably is Gordon's spot. So yeah, we'll see how that shapes up. But even if it is just 2.5 games, as in Murphy or Barnes comes off after 60 minutes, I'm still happy with that going out against Ipswich. I think they're stung. Newcastle, they're going to have that St James's Park crowd behind them. I think they're going to be looking to knock them 4 or 5. Hope I'm right. Then Mateta. Okay, so the question is, do I take Mateta out? Okay, you should be getting very, very close to the catchphrase now. I expect to see hundreds of comments. Hundreds of comments. But only the typing of the catchphrase and nothing else. You got it now. Start typing. Right, let's have a look at this. Starts to get interesting. But it's the spreadsheet and a little bit of my own sort of gut instincts have served me ridiculously well the last few game weeks. So long may it continue. Right, first things first. I was talking about if I am to play with 11, if Sa is injured, I will have to take a hit to have a full 11 out. Spoke about it in the last video. I think I've decided not to take the hit, not to bring in an Allison or a Kepa or anything like that. And I think this game makes a really, really good example. Henderson's the top scorer with just 10 points in the goalkeeping stakes across a double game week. Where are the clean sheets coming from? We don't know. I could end up taking a hit. I mean, what's the upside? Is it even worth it for the upside? I take the hit. This is the whole point of hits, but it's even riskier on a goalkeeper. I take the hit. That's 4 points. Concedes a goal. I'm down. Say does get the clean sheet. Take the hit, it's the -4. He gets a clean sheet against an Ipswich or a Southampton that haven't had many shots on target, so it's a 6 points, so it's 2 points. What do you do? And I've wasted a transfer. Someone may get a penalty save, someone may come in, maybe Allison, I don't know. Might get 4 or 5 saves and then save a penalty and suddenly have a 12, 13, 14. And I'm going, oh, Des, you should have done it, you should have done it. But come on. The odds are this sort of thing usually works against you, and it's more likely that bringing Allison and Johnson comes on with 10 minutes to go with Liverpool leading 5-0, and one comes off his arse and goes past Allison or something like that. So I'm not going to take the hit. I will most likely end up playing with 10 players, but we'll see how that pans out. I popped Wizard in there into the spreadsheet. I mean, you guys have been there. I'm not going to bore you with going through all this again. So I've obviously popped 8 Nori in there. That's done wonders for the numbers, bringing in his average, and he's been nice and consistent with those returns. It's a fantastic fixture. So hopefully there is a clean sheet in there, and hopefully an attacking return. Yeah, just his average at the moment over the last 5 game weeks has helped to bump those numbers up, popping it in for the blank Gabriel. And I popped Wizard in there at the moment. Now, I'm not 100% certain that is where I'm going to go. Think it's where I'm going to go. It fits my model. It fits the spreadsheet. It creates another player with great fixtures in the run out to the season. It puts me in with another great fixture on the for that 37-38 where I want to build up that sea of green. Not the greatest for Forest away. A potential option, and I am still considering this, is to bring in Cunha, and because Cunha worries me. He worries me in 2 ways. He worries the damage he could do to me, and he worries me that that the damage he could do if I buy him in and he doesn't actually play or he doesn't get, because I think there is a potential minutes risk in the future there. But that fixture home to Leicester. You see, I could bring in Cunha this week and I could actually bring in Wizard next week, because it is in that front line I think I would like to refresh. So I'm considering that. Could kill 2 birds with 1 stone there. And even Evan Nielsen would actually be a good option if I really am that worried about Cunha. I could bring in Evan Nielsen and I'd get that fixture next week, and then I can bring in Wizard the following week, when he moves into that Man U home fixture, where we could, Mbomo and Wizard. Oh my God, against that United defence, and we're going to be involved. United are going to be involved in Europe, so it's going to be a rotated team. Oh my God, I'm targeting my own fucking team. Dear God, what's going on? It is what it is, though. It is what it is. So I'm not sure. At the moment, I've got Wizard in there. If Sa plays, that's brought the averages up to 65 without captaincy. So you've got to be hoping on those sort of fixtures. There's a 70 points plus there, and hopefully Sa is okay, because it does bring it down a little bit. I'm predicting 60. I always go for the lowest of the median and the average. For the fudge factor, captaincy, there's all sorts of shit can go on. As we well know. But that's at the moment where it's at. My prediction is 60, excluding captaincy. Hopefully we get a nice clean game week, as in star plays, etc., and we hit the 70 points plus. I am mulling over. I have not made the wizard transfer yet. It could still go Cunha. He's highly owned. I've looked through a lot of other people's drafts and all the other content providers. Everyone has him. Everyone has him. Going against him is almost a differential. And Wizard has been on fire. But it is Forest away. Decisions, decisions, decisions. In the meantime, type in the catchphrase, nothing else. No comments, nothing. I just want you to call me exactly what I am this week. A lucky, lucky bastard. Seriously, I don't know how that's happened. I'll do the, well, I'm not that lucky actually. I'm not that lucky. I've just gone through the FPL Don't Panic scores, and I thought, I've won it this week. This is my week. I am that lucky, 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 lucky. Are you fucking kidding me? Seriously? I got beaten at 2 points. We'll do the Bissy Brown Cup tomorrow. Take care, have fun, play your own game. Don't panic. Chat to you tomorrow. Bye bye.